Welcome back to game 2 of the day. FlyQuest are looking pretty different after having a whole roster swap going into week 6 of the Summer Split.
Yeah, and a big part of that is Licorice is gone, right? And Licorice was supposed to be the veteran captain in the top laner, supposed to be the big carry, and now they've decided to part ways. So I don't know what that means for FlyQuest, but I think for Licorice, it's a good new start for him.
Right, I think they'll do pretty well. We're talking earlier, Mark Z was giving me the rundown of the team, who was playing on the team. They're actually doing pretty well in Academy. I think they lost one of their most recent games, but they're still like a top Academy team. They're performing super well. Whether that can translate into C9 or not, we'll see. I doubt it, if I'm gonna be honest, but I'm rooting for them. They're all a bunch of young players, new rookies, players that have a lot of time to grow, so I'm gonna be cheering for them personally.
Yeah, we'll get to see them in action today. And Licorice, he's not gone from the LCS. He is over on Golden Guardians. They'll be taking it to the Rift later on. But being that we are heading into this FlyQuest match and we're thinking about players like Triple, well, I want to know how Triple is going to stack up against all of the other mid laners that we have here in the LCS. So we've got a couple tier lists prepped by yours truly. I guess that would be if I was talking about me, but...
Mine truly.
Yeah, yours truly. So Kaizen, hi. We've got your tier list
All right, let's see.
at the ready. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. First off, come flame me. Give me all the flame. Go on Twitter. I don't care what you say. I've probably a better millionaire than most of you that are going to come at me. Probably. Some exceptions apply, but let's take a look at this tier list.
Yeah, what was your criteria for building this tier list? Because a lot of people look at different characteristics.
Right. Well, I actually went into Pro View. Sorry, I'll look at the camera. I actually went to Pro View, and I actually watched their lane phases. I put a pretty big emphasis on laning phase, because that's something that every player control. You can't control the late game team fights that much if you're super behind, like a little bit, but I took a look at the lane phase and who's strong, who's aggressive, who knows how to pull advantages from it. And I based it mostly off of that. These players here, they're able to play their lane well, they're able to get advantages, and they try to win their lane. I think that's the most important thing for me, for players that try to win their lane, because when you go into higher competition and you just sit there and want to lose or go even, you're losing the game already. You go to mid lane, you try to win your lane. Every mid laner should have that mentality. You need it.
Wait a second. So if you're looking at laning, how do you have Jizuke at 5th? He literally has the best laning stats in the league, Hi.
Well, obviously it's a little bit more complex than that.
Okay.
After lane phase, 7 minutes in, he goes off a cliff, you know? So that's a problem.
No, I don't think that's fair at all. Okay, so I think this is gonna be the big pivot point for us.
Justify this, guys.
I think this whole coin flip, like Jizuke narrative, is a spring split narrative. I think in summer, he's not only been the best person in lane, I think he's consistently been able to create advantages for his team in collaboration with Svenskeren. And I think that's a big part of the reason why EG has just looked more consistent as a team. Yeah, they've had issues with goofing late game, but I don't think it's been like Jizuke getting caught split pushing or Jizuke trying to go for a solo outplay. I think a lot of it has been the team just like having their brains turn off, but not necessarily Jizuke as an individual.
So while Jizuke is different a little bit on your list, I think the biggest break point is the top 5 versus the bottom 5. That's where you both were similar despite some changes going into it. So, Hi, what do you think distinguishes the top 5 that you both agree on in that category from the bottom half?
There's a common denominator in the top 5 and the bottom 5. It might be where they're born or from. But, you know, outside of the aspect itself, I'm not going to go into that too deeply because that makes me sad. I don't know how you have perks at 4. I take personal offense to that. I think perks at 4 is a massive disservice to him as a skill and as a player. He's made it to Worlds. He's played super far. He had problems with lighting. He put on the hat,
Wait.
back to form.
He made it to World? This is a summer split ranking list, Hi.
I'm just saying, wait, this
is not a list of who I would take if I was making an all LCS team. This is a list of, based on the 15 games that we've seen so far, who do I think is performing the best out of those 15? Of course I think Perks is probably number 1 or number 2 at the end of the year, but those were Nectin games, bro. Seriously, Hi?
Bro, that was week 1, dude. That
was part of the criteria.
Can we bring up Jizuke then? Come on, if you're gonna bring up one game from him.
Okay, what's the game?
Every game. Watch him play. Outside of lane phase, no offense to Jizuke, your mechanics are great. Sometimes you have questionable decisions, but once you fix that problem, I think you'll be a massively better mid laner here than I have you listed. But until those problems are fixed, he can't be higher than Perks.
Oh my God, okay, so I think maybe our criteria is a little bit different. This is not a list of who is the best overall mid laner across their career for me. This is a list of Summer Split, 15 games, who's looked the best. I think it's hard to have Jizuke that low if you're looking at laning phase alone. But maybe I'm missing some mistakes. So I'm sure you'll
can
show
look at the
me
standings
some
of the
footage
teams.
later.
What
Okay?
place is EG in on the standings right now? That's what I thought.
That's a lagging.
what I thought.
That's based on Spring Split and Summer, though. Oh my God.
See, look,
I can't talk to this guy.
I was just ranking perks with the cap. You were thinking of perks with the cap and without it.
Yeah,
and
he got more
finding
powerful
around
with the
there.
cap. You know, the cap.
Oh,
Recency bias.
Yeah, post-cap or pre-cap perks.
I'm sure this conversation is continuing across the Twitterverse and beyond. Looking forward to seeing it. But before we jump into C9 versus Fly, here is Mark Z with another State Farm neighborhood tactics, this time looking closely at C9's play around a snowballing TSM.
Thank you. In this edition of State Farm's Neighborhood Tactics, I want to take a look at the C9 versus TSM matchup from last weekend. We had Lost on the desk afterwards, and he was talking about how difficult it felt to close out versus C9. And one of the reasons I think that's the case is because of how C9 was trading for objectives. And they did it with more focus than most teams end up doing. So let's take a look, starting at 17.5 minutes into the game. As the second Rift Herald is spawning, TSM is on the third Dragon Point, and a lot of teams do go for this trade. This is not the surprising one. They do even sack their mid outer turret while getting 2 in the top side to get Fudge ahead. And what's more surprising is what happens in the subsequent objectives, where they are willing to give up so much in order to just get gold on their carries because they know they outscale TSM's team comp. Here, Perks gets caught on the top side by Spica. It's a really nice play, and instantly TSM's gonna focus down on the Baron. Most teams here, a lot of their junglers will kind of just run into the objective, try and stop it by all costs, get the smite steal. C9 doesn't do that though. They instead focus on the bot lane, they let Fudge keep farming up, they allow him to get more global gold off the map in the bot lane outer turret, and they're gonna keep doing this. Even for the sole point, when there's no objectives up, Perks is just getting farm in the top side while giving the Cloud Soul over to TSM. It's not the most impactful soul in the game, and you can often, kind of let it go. And that's what I think C9 did so well in this game, is they never took the fight to TSM unless they absolutely needed to. They even sacked their second Baron buff of the game to just get more farm on Fudge grabbing the inner bot lane turret. They don't actually fight until 30 minutes into the game, and you can kind of see why they waited for so long in order to get the key items on their carries, and they're able to win this fight going 1-for-0. They're just a little bit too far behind the pace of the game with everything else that went wrong, and so TSM's able to grab the Elder buff at the very end of this fight, but you got to see the power that their comp had when they outscale so heavily. And I hope more teams in the LCS are willing to take their time and trade objectives with more focus instead of just sending one member in to die or something like that. We'll see if more teams start doing that with the matchup coming up. C9 versus FlyQuest. Take it away, Pastry and Azael.
Thank you very much, Mark Z, as we are gearing up for our next match here. It is Cloud9 versus a very different looking FlyQuest Azael. FlyQuest Academy, we saw a few of their players, 3 of them in last week, and now they decided to just send them all in.
Yeah, I mean, they're on, what, 10-game losing streak, so I think it's time to mix things up, right? Very clearly what they were doing was not working, so they want to make some changes. Transition time a little bit more slow than we would have liked because the FlyQuest members needed a bit more time as they were new to the LCS stage, getting everything set up, but it is all now set up, and we are into the picks and bans.
Of note, it's not just 5 new players, it is also 1 new coach. They actually brought in Fantix, which longtime Oceanic fans will remember perhaps as Perfection. He was a player in that region for a long time. He's been a coach here for a little while as well. And if you're wondering who he is, he's the FlyQuest Academy head coach, which is why he's here on stage with most of the Academy team.
Yeah, he's going to know them best very clearly. And I'm going to be excited to see how they match up here against Cloud9, who I think looked a lot better last weekend. Yes, there was the TSM game that they were kind of criticized some for, and Mark went over some of the good things that C9 did in that game, but overall, Perks with caps looking good. He was really good last weekend. I'm going to be excited to see what kind of form they are in this weekend. They've grabbed themselves the Nocturne, an incredibly powerful pick on this patch. Can really go anywhere on the top side, mid, jungle, top. I think it's great in all 3 roles. Of course, you will be giving over some power picks yourselves in the form of the Viego and the Diana, but Kali is also up. So this is kind of just a plethora of really strong champions right now, and both teams looking like they're setting up to run a very traditional heavy dive style of composition.
Yeah, I mean, one of the nice things about FlyQuest Academy, who's actually been doing quite well in Academy, obviously, which is very different. Definitely a team that understands the meta, understands how they want to play the game. It's part of the reason they're drafting at light speed for these last few picks. They've taken Viego, Diana up against the Nocturne Akali Varus. that C9 now have. Taking a little bit more time here for Triple's last pick, but looks like he's locking in Lucian.
And one of the things I actually really enjoy about a lot of the academy teams is that they're more willing to be experimental. Oftentimes they're used as kind of like testing for the meta. Exactly. They're like, all right, get in there, see if this works. And as a result, the players come up and they're more willing to try new things and more willing to experiment and look for different builds and look for different champions. And I think that can transition well to the LCS stage. We can see that there are LeBlanc men coming through, so they're actually thinking that this is going to be a top Akali, jungle Nocturne. They think that mid lane has still yet to be picked. It is difficult, though, because, of course, it could actually be the Akali or the Nocturne going mid. So I don't expect to see a double ban on mid coming through for FlyQuest, whereas on the other side, it seems to be more of the focus towards the support, banning out the Lulu, which you would expect to be down in the support role. Lucian almost exclusively played mid lane. Diana should be jungle. Viego should be top, unless they want to flex down that Lucian to bot lane, but it just is not that strong these days, so really not expecting it.
All right, well, running down the clock now, it is Victor.
Wow.
So lots of respect here for Triple up against Perks. Doesn't want to play either of those matchups as the Lucian.
I just am a bit surprised. I mean, maybe they're saying, you won't play Akali into my Lucian. You won't play this, so I know you're going to pick something else.
Oh, he will.
That's kind of how I feel, is that, you could still play Akali mid into the Lucian. You will go down some farm, very clearly, if the Lucian is playing that well. But, I mean, if you have something like the Nocturne jungle, that pairing is very deadly post-6 for the Lucian. So they could look towards that. Lucian mid, if they wanted to go towards the center, that would make sense as far as a champion that can kind of follow up on some of this dive and support in that style. I do think Jhin can do a similar thing, being able to be the follow-up or the initial engage. Just with the ultimate, you open up, you slow them down, everyone's piling in from your team, the Viego, the Diana, and you kind of try to create that chaos, especially if Cloud9 is not drafting any sort of traditional frontliner. Like, if you have a Mundo there, he just kind of tanks the Jhin ulti and he doesn't really care. And when you do have squishy champions, it's difficult to be willing to actually tank up multiple shots, so you often end up in a situation where you are just kind of every man for yourself trying to dodge out.
I do like the approach, though, that Jhin kind of gives to this team, so I think it is a cool pick, not something we see all that often. Nautilus locked in, and Twisted Fate locked in, so FlyQuest actually had the read about mid lane.
They had him downloaded. They knew that this was going to be that top lane Akali. Should be the jungle Nocturne here. I do worry for Jin's survival, though.
Yep.
This is not a champion that is really good against dive. It's very difficult for him to kite back. He has no sort of dash. He has no sort of self-peel. Unless you want to count the root, but come on.
Overtime Gale Force.
Yeah.
You're going to break that key. Trying to get out of there.
Unfortunately, it's a pretty long cooldown, and there's a Akali Nocturne. Now the point-and-click ultimate of the Nautilus, the follow-up. Even in the backline, Varus can reach you with the Q. This seems like a game that they want to play split map. The potential 1-3-1 here, very powerful. Get out to the side lanes. Nocturne can support side lane play very, very effectively. If you have Akali and TF pushing, you can move to one side. You can overload one side of the map. I do think that Kumo is going to have to be really careful here on the Viego post-6. If TF and Nocturne show up, 3-person dive on top side is incredibly dangerous. And you could also see that same play made towards Tomo as well as Diamond on that bottom side. So the side lanes here, I think in particular, for FlyQuest are going to have to be really careful. And NXI is going to have to do a really good job actually reading where Blabber wants to go, keeping vision out on the map so you can actually track when TF is leaving his lane, because he's got to be right place, right time. He doesn't have a global to be able to just show up once his opponents make the move. He has got to be there early.
And obviously, Blabber is a huge test for any jungler in the LCS, but this is definitely a trial by fire here for NXI. If you're not familiar with NXI, he was the MVP of last year's Honda Scouting Grounds. He is a player that is very exciting if you're invested in the up-and-coming talent of North America. In some ways, he does have some of that Blabber flair when he was a player in a similar position coming up into the LCS, but he doesn't have the same amount of experience. He doesn't have the same amount of titles or MVPs.
Doesn't have 2 MVPs.
Exactly. So it's definitely a mountain to climb here, but definitely if you're looking to have a strong debut as an up-and-coming LCS jungler, NXI is no better opponent than Blabber. Unfortunately, Perks and Fudge are also in the solo lanes here, and it's looking like a tough time for any individual champion on the FlyQuest side, given how much dive and engage C9 have. And they're even making it a bit spicier at level 1.
Yeah, going to be wrapping around here. So I think Kumo saw Fudge, but he won't see the other members. So if you actually go for a wraparound behind, Fudge walks up at the same time, you try to escort him out, and it will just be a straight invade through try, so not going to be anything happening from it. I would have actually preferred the wraparound. It is, obviously, you're going to be spotted by the tower, but once you are behind them, there's not usually a great way to go. Either way, they are going to go for the attempt, which I always respect, especially if you actually watch a lot of level 1s from these teams. It's one of the easiest things to prep and actually study for, because you kind of just watch the first minute and a half of each of their games. You can go through very quickly and even just see what the standard positioning, like what the 5-point play is for a team. And sometimes teams do have clear weaknesses, and that has been preyed on in the past. C9 trying to make a move towards Kumo, who they thought may have been susceptible there, but not really any cost for them to do it.
Also, the trend of Cloud9 playing against people that used to be on their different teams continues. Kumo, Tomo, and Diamond have all been on Cloud9 Academy at some point. But even funner fact is Triple and Fudge were once teammates long ago on Mammoth in OCE.
That is a
my
fun
memory
fact.
serving me. So Triple, I think this is one of his only LCS games. I don't think it's his only one, but he hasn't had too many, even though he's been in North America for quite a while with FlyQuest Academy. So we'll see if they can perhaps meet each other at some point in the mid game, because of course it is going to be Kumo versus Fudge here, and Viego, as expected, going to feel really good in the early stages of this laning phase.
Yep, gets the push. I mean, Kali just doesn't really have any ability to push early levels. It's so much energy on the queue at rank 1. You need to kind of get the rank ups to be able to have the ability to get a bit of push there. Oh,
Vulcan! Little miss there. Diamond, remembering the, he's got the download. He's played with Vulcan for a long time on the same org. So dodging that hook quite nicely. That gives him the level 2 edge, and Tomo going to be playing nice and aggressively here alongside his Leona.
and people really do feel that Leona is one of the strongest answers into the Nautilus, because anytime the Nautilus goes for a hook, you can actually just Zenith Blade onto the Nautilus, interrupt that hook, and when it is support on support, AD on AD, Leona almost always comes out on top. With the Aftershock proc, with your W up, you are so incredibly tanky during that time frame, and it really can set you up for success there. You can see Tomo actually going for Boots 4-pot as the start. Now, this is very high on regen. It makes a lot of sense against a skill shot heavy lane. You want to be able to have the move speed to actually dodge out on these hooks, to dodge out on the piercing arrows, and that is what he is really trying to do. And Sven on the other side, likely to go lethality. He is going to be playing the longsword 3-pot, and again, it's just about completing the items faster, about having the additional regen if you are getting poked out.
Yep, probably Dust Blade again, as we saw from Turtle in our last game. Prowler's Claw has been changed enough where Varus doesn't want to buy it. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting less popular. You do see it clips sometimes, and I think clips can actually, still work well at times, especially if you want the Vamp. If it is against a poke-heavy team, that can actually be pretty valuable. But Dustblade is definitely the most common of the options, and I mean, the haste passive on the Mythic is just really nice when you're playing a poke-heavy champ. A lot of cooldowns on the Varus, and you just get a lot of value out of that.
All right, well, NXI has finished his clear, walked into Blabber's jungle, and then gone ahead to hang out. As Blabber also finished clearing. They're both level 4, so it looks like they're, for the most part, just ignoring each other, trying to get farmed up nice and swiftly. As you do see a blasting one already in the inventory for NXI, going to be battling a pickaxe there for Blabber. So basically the same type tier of item, let's say, but obviously going towards very different first mythics.
Yeah, very, very similar stuff there. We'll see if Triple can create any sort of advantage here in the mid lane. Generally speaking, TF is considered a weak laner in that you're not expected to actually win the 1v1s, but how he combats that is you do really focus on the push. You try to shove the wave, you try to actually avoid the combat, and where TF does really excel is that you have incredible gank assists. So that is where your opponents have to be worried. Lucian, if you go aggressive, as soon as a gold card is used, a blue card, whatever, you can actually dash in on this guy and take a winning trade, but all of a sudden if the jungler is there, the gank assist becomes very, very deadly. We'll see if Kumo gets caught out here. Blabber behind him.
Blabber is here. This is something, unfortunately, many are familiar with. Oh, and there's the dive coming through. It's first blood for Fudge.
Wow, that was actually really well done there from Cloud9. And I think in retrospect, it's easy to say, wow, Kumo, you should have flashed early. But I just don't think he thought he was in danger. And honestly, I didn't think he was really in danger there either. But Cloud9, with the Ignite on the Akali, they land the Fear Tether. You hit the Shuriken flip there. The E damage on Akali is so high now that they're able to actually have lethal damage here. I mean, Kumo is close to his tower. He's fairly healthy. He has the little dash to actually get back. And you got to think, he just thinks he's chilling. He thinks he's absolutely fine. But the Fear sets it up. The Ignite comes through. The E lands both parts of it. The Q as well from Fudge. That was just really, really well done.
Very nice there. And unfortunately, Kumo remembers the days where Blabber would gank his lane. As Triple getting aggressive on the perks will force the flash away. This time, Shu's on the other foot. Jungler's on the other team.
Just
That's true. Not in the way you would have wanted.
Just
Remember
like
me,
this.
Kumo?
Never like this.
All right, well, Kumo does fall. Fudge still down. Yeah, so not too bad again. Viego pretty happy, trying to use his laning strength up against Akali's weak laning strength as TP back in for Triple, who is getting some nice pressure. You do need to do this as Lucian, right? This is the expected result in this kind of lane. So we'll see if maybe there's a revisit with the flashless perks now in mid.
Exactly. I mean, he hit 6. He got the immediate culling down. It looks like Cloud9 are setting up, though, for this play. Perks TPing back in. He's got the summoner heal here. Cloud9 want to scrap.
Diamond in the front line there, going to get CC'd up by Nautilus. Now going to go back through. Vulcan getting a little low. Diamond is going to not get it. As now he gets the flash in onto Blabber. That looks like a kill to me as Kumo's getting the ulti. And Fly find 2 there outside the Dragon.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Fudge not TPing down. And that fight went very bad for Cloud9. FlyQuest just set it up well. I mean, it looked like Cloud9 wanted to fight, potentially because Diana was not 6 yet. They knew that Triple didn't have his ulti cooldown. They're kind of tracking some of these things and feeling like it might go their way, but honestly, went very heavily to the side of FlyQuest. Both kills plus the Dragon. The only real advantage that they will get is they will have a freeze up on this top side, so we'll see what the fallout is there. But Lucian pushes out mid, moves down. Cloud9 TP in, and they want to try to go over onto Diamond. You can see that Perks is trying to actually zone the carries here, but as they hook forward, I mean, Vulcan just gets destroyed, and this is kind of what I'm talking about Leona versus Nautilus in this situation. You know, they did have the lockdown onto Diamond, they were hitting him, but he was just way too damn tanky. He doesn't actually end up getting knocked down. Vulcan dies in a hurry, and once he went down, people start hitting level ups, they pile in, Blabber has no real way out, so well-played fight there from FlyQuest.
Yeah, nice. It's like dancing, honestly, from Diamond. He was very close to dying in a bunch of different spots, but managed to bait them in long enough to finish off 2 kills there for FlyQuest. More importantly, to get the Dragon out of the deal, as the gold is still pretty even, but they'll be happy to get some gold in their pockets and offset the first blood gold that they got in top lane.
And with the early Dragons, we know that pretty much no matter what the soul is, it's going to be very highly prized, right? You know, it's going to be Mountain or Ocean, with Infernal coming up next. The first one was a Cloud. And I think both of these have a lot of value. You know, Ocean is really highly prized when you have a lot of brawling style champions. These kind of more extended plays can be really, really good. And you also realize there's a tremendous amount of burst. So having the Mountain Soul Shield against Akali, against Nocturne, against Diana, these champions that want to just kind of straight up 100 to 0 you, and even actually against Jhin, it really does hurt Jhin a lot because Jin's damage amps up as you get lower. You know, the execute on the 4th shot, that type of play. And it's very, very difficult to actually get people low through Mountain Soul Shield. Likewise, with the Jhin ultimate, again, you're just hitting shields, and you don't actually push through that. So either way it goes, I think Dragons are going to be a big deal this game.
Certainly looks like it, as Toma and Diamond are very respectfully playing against the incoming brush play. Vulcan and Sven were both hanging out, but Diamond and Toma are going to play back there. No need to overextend. Again, there's a Nocturne in this game that's level 7. There's a TF in this game that's level 7. FlyQuest do need to play pretty carefully in their side lanes because it is very easy for Cloud9 to pick off a straggler and get gold swinging rapidly in their favor.
And it's going to be Triple's job to just keep Perks locked in his lane, right? Just shove, shove, shove. You try to make it so that even if TF goes elsewhere and makes a play, he's going to lose plates. He's going to lose farm. There's going to be a cost. And it also, honestly, just feels way better to sit back and have to play this defensive style, knowing that there will be a punishment every time they lose lane, knowing that you are really pressing. And you can see Perks is into a very defensive build here. He rushes Tabbies, knowing it is double marksman, it is Viego. Really kind of feeling threatened, I think, with the physical damage, and is trying to keep pushing up here, making plays, but Cloud9 are on a little bit more of a timer, I would say, in this game. You know, I do think their comp scales well, but just when you are playing TF and Nocturne, you really want to get out on the map and have a successful first ultimate. That often dictates the pace of the game, you know, if it's going to go really well for you or not. So they're going to be looking for those opportunities, and we'll see how long it really takes them to actually find the first one, because we're post 10 minutes. You can see, you know, Perks is closing in on level 9, Blabber's already level 7. It's not extreme by any means, but they want to make that play happen.
Right, you didn't pick these champions to like scale them in at 30, right? You picked them to get stuff done in the side lanes with the ultis, as bottom lane continues to battle in top lane, slightly confusingly. Something that Oceanic players will be familiar with. Perks is back in mid again, just trying to get the counter shove happening. Triple's actually got the Gale Force finish, so now even more pressure can come out of the Lucian. Definitely going to be looking at the mid game here for Triple right, he's done the easy part of the game, which is laning against basically any champion in mid lane. The hard part is doing anything else when skirmishes and team fights happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of CC over on the Cloud9 team, so he's going to have to be careful. There's a lot of bursts, so definitely if you misposition, if you misplay, you will get punished there. But this is kind of that big payoff when you go for these differing styles of item builds, right? You know, you're looking over at Perks. He's got a lot of pieces. He went for the tabbies. You know, he made a pit stop here as well for a Dark Seal. And over on Triple side, it's just straight Mythic Rush. So when you get that completion, your gold efficiency is so much higher. So this is kind of the highest level of relative power that you will have is one of these opportunities right now. So I think as a result, FlyQuest very likely going to be playing towards this next dragon, trying to make things happen, try to utilize this Lucian who's in such a great spot right now.
Yep. Of note as well, FlyQuest did get the first Rift Child. They haven't dropped it just yet, but I imagine NXI is going to use it to run interference in a lane when they try and take the dragon. So it does still have it. It's cooling down pretty quickly. Actually, doesn't have too big a window to use it, but I imagine FlyQuest have a play in mind.
Yeah, and it's probably for the Infernal, right? The Infernal's up in 10 here. You show up to a lane, you drop that, but if he dies here, it could be bad.
Got the cleanse. Yeah, NXI needs to be careful. Now going to get ultied up, and Blabber should be able to finish it off. Perks TP's in to collect it, and Cloud9 get one.
Oh, none of these didn't get that kill. Shelly might expire because of that death. I'm not sure on the exact timing, but if that expires, that is really costly. It is going to be close.
Looking close.
I'm not sure on the exact timing, so I'm not going to guess. We'll just wait and actually see here. But Fudge pushing on the top side. He has the Riftmaker completed, and now is kind of his time to have fun.
Perks, though, is going to get shut down by Triple. Galeforce still ready, but Triple has to be careful. Does not want to face trigger. Go cut that, Shelly! It's fine, everybody. It's fine. Right on time.
That was so close. That was down to the last final seconds there on it.
Killing a diamond. Perhaps Uld is in if they can't quite find the way there. Very nice hook out of Vulcan to get himself to safety. Kind of grappling hook to the wall. I guess that's the prototype of the upcoming champion. Triple, though, still pushing, applying pressure. FlyQuest, they've got enough respawns to play for this Drake. This is nice. Like, yes, your jungler dying before Dragon usually is a bad sign, but FlyQuest have actually been able to get back to get this objective.
Yeah, and I think that Cloud9 aren't going to try to contest whatsoever. You could see that they hadn't based early. You know, Perk's kind of chilling around.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Galeforce, very nice stopwatch.
He still has flash.
Triple, finding it there, gets the flash in, there's the auto attack! And Triple, the boy from solo kills Perks, and Blabber's gonna make him pay for it.
Nicely done there by Triple. You cannot flash an auto attack, and that is why you gotta early flash in those situations. The Rift Herald actually arrives bot, so it even gets the charge.
Perfect timing!
Oh.
That was the plan the whole time as Diamond's been bound up by chains of corruption. Pops the W, dodges the skill shots. TP's coming in hot though as Fudge. Looking to maybe make it happen. TP in from Fly though as Fudge. Finds Diamond there. Kuma now TPing through. Fudge though very evasive, very tricky to try and kill Sakali as Blabber. Ulti's back down. FlyQuest getting shredded as Fudge finds the triple kill.
They got the stronger Aussie. He roasts him in the bot lane. Fudge. Everything he hit there was AoE. They all stacked up on the exit, and Fudge just deletes him. Going through multiple members there with the ultimate, hitting him with the Qs. That TP paying off massively because now the gold lead explodes. He hasn't even gotten to spend all this gold that he's going to have in his pockets. I mean, he just completed the Riftmaker. He's now 4-0. We know how dangerous that snowballing Akali can be. Here it is one more time. Fudge watching the play the whole time, seeing that they're going forward. As soon as the hook comes in, as soon as he sees the root land on a diamond, you can see the ping. He's saying, all right, we're going for Leona first. He's trying to bide his time, get the Shroud down. Nice sidestep there on the Leona ultimate. And then it's just absolute cleanup duty here, roasting the FlyQuest members who are trying to get through. He had the early R1, so that R2 was ready to hit everyone from FlyQuest.
Yeah, sick execution there from Fudge.
Would you say perfect?
I would say perfect execution.
Wow. Good ability.
Fudge on the top side, pretty good ulti. As Perks with the blue buff now is pushing a different lane, wants to try and avoid triple, which I guess I can't blame him for. But again, Perks feeling just fine. He'll get carried by Fudge as a Akali this game.
Yeah, he's chilling. I mean, he's gonna have value, right?
Yep.
You play the side lanes on TF, you threaten that, but they're looking for a pick here.
Something about being a MSI champion, I guess, makes people want to kill you as NXI is going to take him down. It feels like they're just picking on him at this point. I guess can't really pick on the Akali, so I have to pick on the other one.
Oh, nice scale for us there. Dodging out from Sven's ulti, and that actually gets Blabber's ult 2? Did that? Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Wow. So I think they were pretty certain that that was actually going to land. Because Tomo has a great dodge there with the Gale Force, it costs not 1, but 2 ultimates. Flabber really yet to have an effective ultimate this game. Fudge, he's threatening to dive. He knows he's strong.
Kumas, I don't care if there's no one else here. I'm enough afraid of you, excuse me, even though Fudge doesn't have the Ignite. And I mean, yeah, Fudge is powered up enough that Kumo does have to respect him. Laning phase was all fun and games for Kumo, and now it's Fudge's turn in the side lane.
Yep, absolutely level 12 here. I mean, he's 2 levels up on Kumo. The experience differential is going to get worse because he's actually getting zoned off all that XP now on the bottom side. He got the Blighting Jewel there, which is very powerful after those last couple kills. 7 stacks on the Dark Seal. So he is looking good. And yes, Perks has been picked on. The laning phase did not go amazing and did get picked off in the side lane as well after getting solo killed in mid by Triple. So FlyQuest, doing a good job being proactive, trying to find their moments. They do also have the 2 dragons in their hands. But this is something that I think Cloud9, more so than most of the teams in the league, is willing to do, where they're fine giving up objectives as long as they're trading gold for it, right? And this is an absolutely strong strategy. I just think it's one of those things where you pick one or the other and you hard commit to that, because where it really goes wrong is where people kind of waffle and they sort of show up to the dragon, but they sort of have someone in the side lane and they don't really get much of anything. It's totally fine to say, guess what? We're never going to show up to these first 2 dragons. We're going to push towers. We're going to take jumble camps. We're going to extend our gold lead so that when we do show up, we're going to be richer and we're going to win the fight.
Yep, and again, for all the, the pressure Perks had to absorb, level 11 has the rank 2 ulti ready with the Everfrost. He's going to have a ton of utility to set up for Fudge, to set up for Sven. So more than enough here as NXI does indeed pop the second Herald. This time it's behind the mid-outer, as FlyQuest are once again gearing up for this Dragon. This Herald will be nice if he can get the tower, and the charge should indeed confirm that, but FlyQuest more than anything want control of this Dragon.
And it looks like they're just going to get it for free. Fudge still topside, no TP. Unless he bases right now, okay, so he's going to run down. So they are going to try to challenge. He's not going to pressure for the tower just yet. We will see if FlyQuest setup is going to be enough to really kind of get them an edge. There is 1 ward. I'm not sure if that's Scuttle over by the Dragon, but you can see 1 blue ward on the mini-map.
Uh-oh, here comes Blabber. Lights are out. Great hook for Vulcan. Finds a pick. And that's going to be a kill indeed. Diamond will fall.
That's
now
big.
5v4 as the Chains of Corruption hits NXI as well. And FlyQuest just have to abandon ship on this Dragon.
Yeah, nicely done. The Nocturne ulti there, even though it is on Diamond, this tanky member, this guy that you're not really wanting to go for, he was sectioned off, and Fudge was threatening the flank on the team. So it was actually a difficult area for FlyQuest to really fully commit to a fight from, because if you go and you pile through that corridor and Akali is behind you on these double marksmen, it is going to be a nightmare. So Cloud9 going to be able to not only push out that side lane, but also take the Dragon, get the kill. And now they're threatening bot here. Triple's in trouble.
Really nice dive. Ulti's going to follow Triple. Just flashes, Gale Forces, everything out. Will escape the situation. Is there a TP? Kumo does have his, but no follow-up there. It would be a 2v3, so likely ill-advised as Perks is going to Everfrost the wave, and Diamond is going to try and reinforce, but there is no pick to be had.
A lot of trading of sides. Both teams pushing one side. No one here for Cloud9 to actually answer just yet. They are now basing and responding. Was the trade of flashes there, of course, between Vulcan as well as Triple. I like the attempt. Even though he flashes and gets the safety, who cares? You got a more valuable resource by trading support flash for the carry, especially because he is their strongest member. He is the one that Cloud9 really does want to take out. And yes, now you don't have your support for the engage flash, but guess what? You've got Nocturne, you've got TF with flash, you have Fudge here who can try to get in on top, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for Triple to actually survive in these coming fights.
And items are starting to be completed there. Seralda's Grudge finished up for Triple. See this all the time. But more interestingly to me is that Zeal in Perk's inventory, which almost assuredly
Rapid fire.
is Rapid Fire Cannon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. You're already behind. You're not going to be going, AP one shot, 20 kills. How does he get away with it? YouTube highlights.
Nope,
It's
no
going to be
montage
about
today.
locking them down, right? Your Everfrost, your Tabbies. You go for the rapid fire. You act as this kind of pseudo-engage. You play side lanes. You push it out. You threaten towers. And you look to collapse and play towards your strong members, right? Perks, whether he's ahead, whether he's behind, he can still ult to that side lane, lock someone down for Fudge, and that person is very likely dead unless they have multiple members there behind them. because Fudge doesn't need help as far as the damage goes. He's got more than enough.
Yep, still the 7 stacks there. Xi looking to make the play. Sven with a great flash. But now Tomo letting the ulti rip. Vulcan's a target, but the lights are out. Blabber going in. Thumbs up in the stasis. Very stylish as Blabber is going to fall on FlyQuest. They're going to turn it back around. They're calling. He's going to get one more. Perks is going to fall to Kumo, but Fudge is popping off. Gets a couple on the back end, but Diamond is still going to get that kill as Kumo finds the resets, takes down Sven and FlyQuest. They'll ace C9.
They're going to get the Baron as well. That is huge. FlyQuest, their full Academy roster sub in here and taking it to Cloud9. They get the ace. That was also the TP off of Fudge. He goes down, so a fat shutdown as well going over to them. Oh, they're going to have to back it up. I spoke too soon as Jin, not exactly a Baron Slayer.
Nope.
So unfortunately for them, they won't be able to get that follow-up. Still a big deal as the gold almost back to parity, but the fact that they can't actually kill off the Baron is so big. Because Viego has good damage to it, but Viego is actually tanking the Baron, so he has the reduced damage, and Jin's DPS is just honestly so damn slow. So with the kills that C9 did get, they at least prevent that. We can watch this one more time. Our Bud Light ace. Sven flashing back here to safety, actually playing it pretty well, but as they do pile in, Blabber insta-stunned up there by the Viego. He goes down in a hurry. Everyone's getting roasted. Perks as well as Vulcan get deleted by the culling. Yes, there is that trade kill back by the Akali, who manages to get in onto the Lucian, take him down, finish up that second kill for himself. It's just too little too late as Sven had been pushed out, and his front line was already dead.
Oh man, triple wouldn't work. Even though he got picked up by Fudge. Very nicely done there. 4.5k DPS on the fight. I guess total damage, it's not damage per second. Don't worry about it.
Maybe it was a 1 second fight.
Could be, that's true. Gotta be careful with things like that against a former MMO champion. Sorry, with a former MMO champion. By my side, FlyQuest though. Looking to push things forward. Again, the Baron is the point of attention. No quick soul snowball to be had today.
Perks is far up.
Fudge also far up here. Who they want?
Oh, he's dead.
Gets stunned. See you later, Perks. Can't TP out of that. Has exhaust, no flash. Gets long range stunned by Diamond. Who gets the kill? But triple. It's Tomo.
Man.
It takes it.
Perks, that ult was so late. Like, they knew people were coming up the river. Use the ulti early, reveal, see where they are, see how close they are. He was so slow to make that play. Not only does he give up the ulti, he gives up a free death, and they are now onto the Baron here with 5. Cloud9 in the 4v5, going to try to defend.
Yeah, FlyQuest turning the Blabber going in, trying to pick off Tomo on the backside. The healers pop. Blabber has to dive deeper. Fudge can clean it up. Tomo is going to fall, and Akali is so deadly. NXI going to get assassinated, but the ulti's there just in time, so they can clean it up on the back end. Now 3v2 as Kumo is now Akali, but no ulti there for the Viego, so FlyQuest will back away.
Yeah, Cloud9 with the heroics there. Fudge into the backline there, getting another double kill. Making up for Perks' mistakes, honestly, here. A number of times this game, they are now moving down towards that dragon. It will be their second mountain dragon here, so gonna be pretty nice, stacking up the resistances. And that power of that mountain soul looming here is gonna make it really, really difficult to deal with a lot of these Cloud9 members. Their front line is going to be tankier. It's going to be harder to actually burst down Sven. And that is something that Cloud9 really wants to get towards, and FlyQuest is going to try to stop here. So we can watch this one more time. This is after they had already killed off Perks, who, just quite frankly, was way too slow with his ulti. They decide they're going to go in for the play, and as soon as they actually get vision, you can see Fudge is set up on the side. They're waiting for Blabber. Blabber starts it off here with the Nocturne ulti, trying to go through the back line. Sven doing a good job actually kiting back after landing the ult, just trying to poke through with the arrows. Fudge misses the E to start, but he has the ulti to actually flip into the back line, takes down NXI, had already gotten the initial kill as well on Tomo. Had that first E hit, maybe has enough juice to actually take down the Lucian as well and get a triple. But still, a well-played fight from him, and he has been so critical for Cloud9 in this game. He really is their chance. I mean, 8 of their 12 kills. He has been the one getting work done in pretty much every single team fight.
Yeah, at least right now, Fudge is the one that has to carry this game further forward there for C9. FlyQuest, they're actually not up, but they're kind of playing like it. They're definitely very confident around this Baron. Yeah. They're confident in their team fighting. They know C9 has to play into them around these objectives.
Absolutely. And when you have these situations, they're going in.
Blabber piling in once again. Diamond going to be the target. And that's a decent amount of damage, but not enough to kill him just yet. Diamond getting low, but not dead just yet as the Culling returns fire, and that's a great ult by NXI! Kumo gonna dive in there to finish off the job, and that's 2 already as Sven is gonna get crushed. So Gale Force in for triple. Kumo finds the reset for the kill, and that's 3-0 clean there for Fly.
And surely this time it's going to be Baron. You can see Fudge heading over. He knows there's a couple low members, so he maybe wants to try to go for some sort of a heroic play. Don't think it's going to happen. You can see he's just on the Gromp now on the mini-map. So FlyQuest will secure this. So big for them. I think Blabber thought Diamond was maybe out there by himself. I think he thought he was sectioned off. And when you commit to that ulti, if you cannot get that kill right off the bat, you're committing so many resources to the Leona, who is just not a valuable kill for your team whatsoever. And the initial positioning for Cloud9, once they realized all of FlyQuest is there, was just not there to actually commit to the team fight. Vulcan wasn't in position, Sven's not in position. You know, no one could actually really follow up on the initial play from Blabber. So as soon as Diamond survives, as soon as he's got the whole squad behind him, it all went bad for Cloud9.
Let's say so far, Leona been pretty well calibrated today.
Yeah.
Got smooth as Leona in the last game. Diamond's looking pretty clean on it. FlyQuest feeling like they're in position to kind of extend this lead, right? It's been a very back and forth, you know, first 25 minutes. Had some great moments on either side. Had some oopsies on either side as well. But FlyQuest now a real opportunity to open up this game, to really give themselves a lead where they can, you know, make the last few steps to winning this game as Diamond has found Vulcan. But not much left there as FlyQuest just taking over Cloud9's red side here.
Yep, pushing in. They take the tier 1. They try to take away the jungle. You can see they're trying to deny vision. Cloud9 with that very shallow vision that they have into their own jungle. As the observers showed us there with Toggle. Blabber on the side trying to spot to find an ulti, and they're going to actually commit to this.
That's Fudge.
Kumo does have teleport. He's got a TP early, otherwise the Nocturne will deny his chance.
Yeah, Tomo getting in there. There's the Nocturne
Oh,
turning
he
out
got
the lights as
TP.
you mentioned. But TP does come through now. Triple's going to be the target. They need to pick him off. Fudge diving into the back line. Cloud9 align it so well as NXI. They're trying to make it happen, but Fudge, he's found the Quadra. Give the man the Penta. He's so low, but he's not going to get it as Kumo finds the reset, but he's going to be left for dead. It's Cloud9 this time. They find their ace.
Oh my God! Fudge is finding the most insane team fights here. Catching so many members there from FlyQuest. As they stack up, he is just erasing them. Kind of give credit, Kumo so fast with that TP actually to be able to get it in time so that it wasn't denied by the initial ulti from Blabber there. But again, it's down to Fudge. He has the deep TP flank. He finds the angle. He gets onto the back line. You know, Triple was basically pushed back by that initial engage right into the Nkali. We can see it again in our Honda performance play here. The TP again, so fast. It looks like it's, is that like a same time thing? Or maybe he had a spell shield or something and actually immune that. But either way, Triple pushed back, but into the waiting arms there of Fudge. Perks ulting into the back line as well. There for the assist, and Fudge is just roasting them. Gets into the Shroud early. Everyone from FlyQuest knows they've got to collapse on this Akali to kill him off. But that naturally then stacks you up for the AoE damage. Fudge is loving it. The fans are loving it too. He has been incredible. 12 kills.
And only 7 pages in the book. Surely a few more to write here in this game. We said it, Fudge is Cloud9 right now at this juncture of the game. And he's playing like it. Kind of has to at this point as FlyQuest are indeed going to get this dragon off the back of all this reset by the looks of things. Perks is still split pushing. This is something that C9 can do the later the game goes on. We identified it in the draft.
Yeah.
This is a strength of their comp most certainly. And Perks is no stranger to side lane play.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it's been one of his strengths through his career, but just kind of due to the nature of this game, the fact that he got very far behind, he's been picked off a number of times. That's basically the first thing he's gotten done in the side lane the whole game, right? You know, we're almost 30 minutes in. He really has not been effective in the side lane this game. He has not been finding good ultimates. He has not been pressuring towers. Now they feel a little bit more comfortable after that fight.
This is so nice for Cloud9. They're just waiting in the shrubbery. They're going to take down Triple. And is Fudgy Cakey the best player in the LCS? That is a very good question. I'm going to say maybe.
Maybe. He's getting damn good. Fudge has been really building a case. When you look back to spring, when he first came in, and think to lock-in tournament where it's like, this guy is the biggest liability. He is the reason his team loses games. And you look at how far he has come, how much he has developed as a player. He was incredible internationally for Cloud9. Yes, things didn't work out for them as a team, but damn, he was good. And everyone will at the very least tell you now he is an elite player. He is one of those top laners in the league. And he's a guy that you can count on to really make big plays, which is so valuable. He has the confidence to look for these plays. He has the ability to carry games when he gets ahead. And this game is far from won. I mean, despite the fact that he has 12 kills, there's so much pressure on him to be good in every team fight. If he ever gets locked down and dies pre-Zonias or unable to get into Shroud, well, guess what? All your kills are on this one guy. That is your power, right? The rest of the team is really not in a position to actually carry these fights. So he has got to be effective. He has the ability to do it. He has the gold to do it. But it also means a lot of pressure on this young player.
And you've seen like what Cloud9 have to do to find team fights, to find kills. It has to be very deep flank angles, like lots of scrappy skirmishes, very chaotic fights. Like, you're not going to win a normal team fight with this kind of comp.
I thought you were going to go a different direction. You see what they have to do. You just have to go in there and get a Quadra on a Kali.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of what it's been.
It has.
All right, well, Vulcan gonna not face check the rest of FlyQuest. That's good news for them. Also, as a reminder, FlyQuest did get the third Mountain Dragon, so they are ready for the Soul in 2 minutes and 40-ish seconds. But it looks like Baron is going to be the playground in the next 20. FlyQuest did a really good job of setting up and securing this objective last time, but Fudge is abandoning any attempt at Baron currently. He's actually split pushing in the bottom lane. So C9, again, such a good understanding of what to do when they're behind as well, right? Yep. Pressuring the side lane, abusing the fact that Fudge is so powerful. FlyQuest have to make a very quick decision and go to Baron.
Yep, and they're going to start it. Now, Cloud9 does have the ability to check this both with the blue orb on Blabber as well as Perks' ultimate.
There it is.
The question is, how fast will they do it? They have eyes on it now, but this is probably... Oh, okay, they're going for the fight.
Oh, they want Perks, actually. But now Fudge is found to flank once again. There's the engage. Fudge now looking just to play cleanup as the damage is pretty massive. Fudge, though, almost gets himself picked up, and now Triple is chasing down the Akali. He's not going to get the kill just yet, and FlyQuest, I think, are winning the fight on the other side. No, instead, it's Cloud9 that are cleaning houses. Kumo is trying to do something here, but Perks goes golden. Now the resurrection happens in for Kumo, and Perks has to run. So Sven now going to look to finish off as Kumo's got to get out of there, and it's very messy. Oh. But it is Cloud9 that win the fight.
So many resources actually committed to killing off Fudge there, and for the first time, he wasn't super effective in that fight. He almost got instantly killed off. He does get over the wall, though, survives, and it took Triple chasing him down to get that kill. Triple did get it, but then that means the biggest carry right now, kind of on this side, on this FlyQuest side, had exited the fight for them. So we can watch this one more time. It is again the deep TP flank here. Fudge coming in from the top side towards these juicy carries. And let's try to watch Fudge and see exactly what happens. So he R's in there, and I think he just gets hit by the Leona ultimate. And so much AoE coming across. It looks like the Leona ultimate potentially, the Diana ult, the Viego ult, everything coming through, all that AoE piled on top. Very likely got hit by something from the Jhin and Lucian as well. And he's almost got 100 to 0 instantly. Once he's pushed out of that fight, these other Cloud9 members likely wouldn't have been able to win had it just been that 4v4. But because the Lucian is chasing him, because the Diana was pushed out, they have the numbers and they can kind of slowly take down Kumo. And critically, they also got his GA. So that is a very big deal. Sven coming up huge for them in this fight, was untouched and made the most of it here with an enormous amount of damage.
Yeah, Cloud9 definitely getting scrappy, but it's working out so far. We've traded off the Magi's. Fudge has sold his. He lost all his glory due to getting killed by Triple. So Perks has picked up the mantle. Now got 10 stacks of his own, but Fudge got a death cap, in case you're wondering. So still feeling pretty good about what's happening.
Not a bad trade.
Yeah, not a bad one at all. Diamond, though, looking to make it happen. FlyQuest getting aggressive. Blabber, though, trying to find the counter ulti. Diamond, they're forced to flash away, but he's just not tanky enough. And now Fudge is going to leap into action. Kumo's been marked, but Fudge can chase you forever. Kumo now dead. Oh! Fudge looking to rip them apart, but FlyQuest, they do find the kill. Now Tomo trying to battle Sven, and he's winning, but the rest of C9 are coming in hot, and that's the big problem. Perks will always be able to find you with the rapid fire cannon, but does he want to fight? Looks like no.
Oh, they're TPing back in. They need the dragon because they know this is FlyQuest's sole point, so he's got to get down there. Blabber is sectioned off.
That's the play. Oh, he actually got slowed by the Mountain Drake. That looks a little risky, but now the steal. Guess it's going to have to be a 50-50. Blabber! He steals the dragon back, but he dies as NXI. Looks for Vulcan, goes golden. Triple now, trying to make it happen, but he gets knocked up by Nautilus ulti as NXI actually got the kill. But now Tomo, coming back in hot. Does get the other kill. Perk's going to go down as well. And one of the weirdest aces I've seen in a while, but it goes to FlyQuest.
It's a bloodbath pastry. Blabber, the absolute mad lad, flashing in there, does secure the dragon, which is huge. But now with the respawns, FlyQuest are heading over to Baron here. They TP and Kumo. Diamond's out on the map. This will be theirs. Cloud9 have no way to challenge for it, so they will again be on the map with the Baron buff here, looking to really extend their lead, try to threaten a potential end here. Has been such a scrappy back and forth game. And Cloud9 are just struggling to actually get to the back line. They're actually having to commit in a lot of these cases so many of their resources just taking down Diamond, right? You know, they're diving on a Diamond. Even the Nocturne ult used onto him. Blabber means, you know, he's going to take that damage as he's on Leona. He's pushed out of the fight almost immediately. Sven is actually struggling to reach the back line as well, who is kiting back and doing a great job focusing down people like Fudge. So we can watch this one more time.
Oh boy.
The Bud Light ace here.
It's a long one.
As Diamond goes in, the buffered hook was actually critical from Vulcan, and then they just turn. And they actually commit pretty much everything here on Leona. They do take him down, but look at Vulcan's health. Blabber down to half as well. Fudge gets into the back line, but I mean, that damage landing on him. You can see the Lucian passive, double crit coming through, plus I think with the Q as well before that. Gets him incredibly low. He gets into the back line, does grab that one kill, but not quite enough left over to actually knock down those additional carries. I mean, FlyQuest is just doing a great job focusing him down. Then the TP back in here from Triple. They commit to the Dragon. They look to burn it down. Fudge is out, but Blabber still has his flasher available and just flashes over the wall. Q Smite does secure it. That was massive. But then again, Tomo, who had kited away, arrives, flash in, auto plus Q. The burst from Jin onto that Varus is insane. When you're against
sick!
I mean, you're against those squishy members late game as that Jin. Sometimes it's like an unironic two-shot. Like that wasn't even a fourth shot, right? That was just a regular auto plus a Q.
Here we go again. FlyQuest trying to siege here and look to break open this game because somebody's got to win it, Azael. As FlyQuest will indeed break through the front door and expose the inhibitor. Last bullet does not connect onto Sven. And that is good news for Sven. He is not that tanky on the Varus right now, but FlyQuest want this inhibitor side. Going in there, found Sven. He's been deleted off the rift. FlyQuest looking like they're doing it.
Yeah, they want to push for the end here. Cloud9 do have 4 members alive. They've got 0 wave clear, though, so they're forced into taking the fight if they want to defend the Nexus.
Oh, he flashed him at NXI. Pops into stasis now. Wave is reinforcing. FlyQuest are going to have to go for it here. 40 seconds until Sven is up, so FlyQuest are looking to end the game. Triple going to get ulted up by Nautilus, but it's not enough there. Fudge again. You have to watch him in the Shroud. But now FlyQuest kiting back there. They're trying to find him out as Kumo doing a decent amount of attack, but the AoE damage from Fudge, absolutely nasty there. And they get 1 kill. They're going to make it 2. No, FlyQuest, they fly back in. They take down Fudge. Kumo revives there. They get the kill on the Blabber. Now he's in GA as Perks. We're going to try and reinforce, but Blabber going to be left out and will die. Kumo absorbs his power. Now FlyQuest still going for it. Sven 10 seconds until he's back up and available. FlyQuest, they just need a little bit more. That Nexus is theirs as FlyQuest will take down Cloud9, and I can finally stop talking.
What a crazy game between FlyQuest and Cloud9. FlyQuest sub in the full Academy squad. They break the losing streak here and take down Cloud9. What a moment for these guys. What an incredible win.
Dude, look at the Academy squad to me, mate. FlyQuest looking good. I mean, clearly you can see the synergy between these players, right? Like, have built up a lot of that teamwork. Team fought wonderfully, but there were so many individual moments that had to happen to string that game together. And I feel like it's going to be hard to pick a player of the game because everyone had their moment this game.
Absolutely. You know, for me, I'm looking at Triple, though. I think that he was so good in the mid lane. Perks was such a non-factor this game, and I think largely that was due to this Lucian in the mid lane playing aggressive. He got the solo kill early on Perks. They picked him off on the side lanes, and they really kept Perks out of those side lanes for a large majority of this game. But that man on screen right there, Fudge, was incredible on the Akali. But the problem is when all the gold is focused on this one member, when the rest of your team is behind, we saw it. FlyQuest is hard focusing this one guy. I mean, even in that potential base defense at the end, I think he got a 5-man R2. Like, it was through the whole team. He's aiming them all up, but no one is there to follow up. No one is there to finish them off. And that is a 10-game losing streak that FlyQuest was on.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. They break the streak in such an incredible way. You know, what a feeling for these guys. You know, the full Academy roster subbed in. your first game is against Cloud9. It's like, ooh, that sucks. Sorry, bro.
Sorry.
And they won.
Yeah.
They did it.
Did they get the Mountain Soul? I don't think so.
No.
I think we didn't get there.
I think we got 6 dragons. We didn't get to Soul.
All right, well, as we were talking about there, the player of this game is indeed the Titanic Triple. Quite a performance on Lucian up against Perks. Again, I felt like FlyQuest had everything, but with that, we are going to take a breathing break, and on the other side, the State Farm Analyst Desk will be joined by Triple to revel in that victory.
Banger.
Absolute banger.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Yeah, right. Pepperoni pockets, an atomic brownie, cuckoo crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch. You're the man.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Yeah. All of my life, man, they counted me out. Not many people are doubting me now. Even some legends are shouting me out. I promise there's nobody stopping me now. My haters look angry, I'm popping. My name will never be forgotten. Running this game, I ain't jogging. Opponents know that I'm a problem, ayy. Always considered the underdog, that is just crazy talk. Don't you be sleeping on me. Promise my skill isn't under y'all. I win the one-on-one winning's the reason I breathe. No one believed in my vision, but my vision crystal clear from the beginning I've seen. My competition can't handle me. Greatest of all time, I am just destined to be. I came to win. They all know that I came to win. I came to win. Step on the stage, I'll amaze again. I came to win. They all know that I came to win. I came to win. Step on the stage, I'll amaze again. These days I feel like the champion. My winning streak only just begun. Facing my fears, I don't ever run. Always been driven to get what I want. Guaranteed one day I'll be the GOAT. Never had much, but I always had hope. Moving so fast and I don't plan to slow. If I'm in the game, then I have control. Always considered the underdog, that is just crazy talk. Don't you be sleeping on me. Promise my skill isn't under y'all. I win the one-on-one winning's the reason I breathe. No one believed in my vision, but my vision crystal clear from the beginning I've seen. My competition can't handle me. Greatest of all time, I am just destined to be. My competition can't handle me, no. My competition can't handle me, no. My competition can't handle me. Greatest of all time, I am just destined to be. I came to win. They all know that I came to win. I came to win. Step on the stage, I'll amaze again. I came to win. They all know that I came to win. I came to win. Step on the stage, I'll amaze again.
Welcome back to the LCS, where Triple has snapped FlyQuest's 10-game loss streak against the reigning LCS champs. And as such, we have Triple joining us here on the desk. First things, it's got to be a pretty wild week for you coming to week 6 of the LCS. How was that prepping for today, and how do you feel after that victory?
Honestly, yeah, we came into this week not expecting much, so still not expecting much, but like, you know, obviously after beating C9, I think we can go 3-0 this week.
So, talking about beating C9, you played the Lucian into the TF, and you forced his flash in lane, I think right at level 6. You got the solo kill. Like, were you nervous coming into the match? And then once you started having, like, a good performance in lane, did you start, like, feeling yourself a little bit more? Like, what was it like?
Honestly, it's a bit of the opposite. Like, when I could feel the solo kill coming, like, the angles are coming, you know?
Yeah.
My hands get a bit jittery. But I didn't think I'd be nervous on stage because I've been playing for so long. But I guess that's what happens when you don't go on stage for like a good year and a half.
I got 2 questions, all right? The first question is gonna be super simple. What are your thoughts on running Cleanse at that matchup, only due to the fact that Teleport won't do anything versus TF and Nocturne? I was just curious about that, because I feel like if you go Cleanse, you probably could have killed him earlier in the game, or at least pressure him so he can't roam. So I'm curious about that as a first thing.
So usually in this matchup, I take Cleanse, but I asked my coach before the game, I'm like, yo, Richard, should I take Cleanse? And he's like, no, don't take it, it's not good, just build Mercs.
I'm on your side here. Just so
But
you know.
honestly, like, it ended up getting me killed like a good 3-4 times, like mid-game, so damn, like, what if I had Cleanse, you know?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, if
so
he had
that's,
Cleanse here, he'd be vibing.
You're blaming your coach.
That's coach cap, that's coach cap, but that's not my fault.
And then my second question is, do you remember that Baron fight where you guys are like fighting there? You guys lost that fight, actually. You eat over the wall to chase Akali. What was your thought process there? Because I was watching that fight over. Had you stayed there instead of following him over, I think you guys could have won that team fight.
Yeah, I should probably pay more attention, but I didn't see that side of the screen. So, and Fudge was my old teammate, so I got an ego on him.
Oh, that's why. We
That's what you wanted to hear.
When I play against my old teammates, I'm like, this guy's dying. I don't care if I lose the game or the team fight, he's dying. So I can see that.
Did you feel like it was you versus Fudge a little bit? Because you got a lot of the kills in the early game, and so did he. And, you know, it's like the 2 Osh boys, the rivalry, ex-teammates. Like, did you feel like it was anything like you versus him, or was it like the entire team because they had such a dive focus?
Nah, honestly, like, when I play whatever team, it's like, I don't really look at nameplates. It's just champions to me, so not really, but also, yeah, we were both super fed, so a little bit.
You know, that's really cool to hear about the fact that you're not even thinking about the names in the game, because I know people like Mark were so hype about the aggression that this squad has, willing to go for the plays and just make it happen. How do you maintain that mentality as a squad, even when coming to the LCS stage?
So what we told ourselves, like, coming into this week, we're like, you know, we don't got to treat these guys like they're like a lot better than us, you know? We just got to keep playing how we've been playing because it's been working for us. You know, scrims have been going really well as well, so we're kind of just taking our academy play style and just like kind of seeing what we can do with it, you know? And it's been working so far, so, and it's our comfort zone, right?
So I think something pretty cool to know would be, you guys seem to take a lot of fights. You guys kind of just go for it, thinking that you can use your mechanics to outplay them.
Yeah.
Who's the one that's like deciding these fights in the first place? Is it Diamond? Is it you? Who's making the calls for the team fights?
So like, the way it works is like, whoever's in the driver's seat, whoever has all the conditions,
Whoever's
I
the
guess,
strongest or whatever,
Yeah.
the agency.
should be calling it. But for the most part, I want to give props to David, so Diamond and Kumo, for a lot of the shot calling, like especially mid-game, late game. These guys call everything, so they're the MVPs.
Yeah, I think also I was really excited when the entire roster got moved because there was the time where it was the top and bot that came in. I think it was like a week and a half ago, and then you and NXI also joined them this time around. What is it like working with NXI, given that he, relative to you, is a pretty new player, and you have this whole history in Osh, you know, and then come over here through Academy. You know, NXI was like scouting grounds a year or 2 ago. What's it like working with him?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a bit of credit here.
Okay,
I feel like
Gas yourself up, bro. This is what you're here for. If you think you kicked ass, do it.
I mean, he definitely kicked ass, but I'm saying, like, when he first came into the year, he didn't really know much about competitive because it's such a different game to solo queue, right? And he had like, what, 2 weeks of experience before that, but he's honestly improved so much since then. And like, the fact that he's debuted after like less than a year in Academy, I think that's really awesome. That's better than most players.
To gas you up a little more, I did get word that you were a player of the game
Let's
for
go.
this particular matchup. So
That's awesome. Thank you.
props to you. Getting to hear a bit about your experience in OCE and coming into Academy as you have been working with this squad all year. How much progression have you noticed from the entirety of the roster, even from the beginning all the way until now?
Well, as you guys saw, probably last split, we came like 8th in Proving Grounds, so obviously that's not really good, but I think everyone took that really to heart, and like, we worked our asses off in the off season. Everyone worked on themselves, and the one important thing is like, I think everyone treats each other like a lot better than they did before. It's just like, we come together, you know, as people. And I think that's like super important.
And then a little bit just about like your personal side. Like, how's it been for you joining North America after everything that went on with the OPL and everything being a bit of a tragedy? Like, was there any concern for you, like, what am I going to do with my career now? And then to come on, first game of the LCS, get player of the game, like, how has this journey been for you?
Yeah, honestly, like when I came here, I thought I was gonna kick ass. I thought NA was like bad, you know, all the memes and everything.
Yeah.
NA bad, whatever. But kind of got reality checked when I came here. We came like 9th and 8th a couple times, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit worried. I'm like, I'm gonna get fired, you know, like.
Oh, no.
And that was like a little insecure meme that we had within the team. It's just like, oh, just fire me, you know. But now I think everything's coming together, so it's looking good.
I got one question here that I ask every player that didn't play in NA previously. What are your thoughts on NA solo queue? I know this isn't relative to the game at all, but it's something I'm curious about. You can say whatever you want. It's not going to affect my opinion on it, but Ryan's probably fine with it. Just give us the dirt.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I will say, you know, before I came here, I wanted to warm up, and I had to queue for 45 minutes to find a game. So there's literally no one playing the game right now.
I feel that problem.
There's that, and everyone sucks, so.
Okay.
It's a 1-2 punch right there.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw how Perks played that game, right?
Oh, God.
You're just getting yourself some time to warm up the vocal cords before joining us here on the desk. That's all.
Of course.
Also, thank you for joining us here on the desk after that victory.
Pleasure.
Well, with that, everybody, in case you did miss it, the LCS Finals will be welcoming an in-person audience on August 28th and 29th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. To be the last piece of the post-pandemic esports puzzle, head on over to visit LCS.com where you can snag your tickets. And while you snag your set of tickets, we're heading to a break, but we'll see you here on the other side for Golden Guardians versus 100 Thieves.